welcome to the maiden episode of the VAR podcast from the Buzzcast Studio, where we'll be bringing you a lot from the World Cup. We'll be talking football mainly on this podcast because it's the sports that a lot of people love. We'll be talking about the leagues, especially the top 5 leagues around Europe. We'll be comparing players, seeing who are doing what elsewhere, and we'll also be focusing mainly on sometimes giving out some betting tips as well, because the boys are out there and they would also want to see how they can make some money. My name is Mutala Yakubu. I'll be doing this a lot with Emmanuel Ayamga.
Yep, Mutala.
I mean, we've waited for this time. It's been like 1 year trying to prepare this studio, put together everything, and talk some football, because I mean, this is what we love doing.
Exactly. For those who do not know, this has been a plan in the pipeline for a very, very long time, and we are happy that it's finally bear fruiting. You know, we are finally here and we are kicking off.
Of course. And talking about kicking off, I think we are kicking off at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
At a time where Ghana is flying high at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I mean, when Perez told me that this would be the first episode, I asked him one thing. We need a very experienced football administrator to open this podcast up with him. Someone who a senator, someone who knows the inside outs of Ghana football, who has been there.
Someone who has been part of the Ghana's World Cup story.
The
from
story.
The first one in 2006.
Of course. Yeah. And Perez suggested Dr. Tony Obin. I was Dr. Obin.
We go get him.
We go get Dr. Obin. Oh, you're busy. Oh, boy, Juba Kakra, Mediema. Oh, yeah, GFA, Juba. Yes, I said, okay, we'll try and get Dr. Tony Obin. And today, we are glad that we have Doctor in our midst. Doc, you see, I check.
Big welcome.
Uji League, he has a crowd since you won the league.
O say petroleum have adwuma no so eso nti aya na what tension akọ sports no dey me natural job me pastime something that you know you work on without looking for any remuneration nti baby a o paycheck wo no and na ya attention no e na.
But for those of you who do not know, Doctor also serves as the board chair of Mediema SC in Takwa, and they recently won the Ghana Premier League. I know it was a difficult journey because I was there for the 34 weeks. There was a period where I thought Mediema have lost this. Doc, how did you pull this together?
Yeah, it was very important for us because at the beginning, at the very beginning, our strategy was to win the league. There was no other alternative. So we were ourselves very worried that in the middle of it, we were not getting the results the way we wanted. We were even losing on our home soil, so that was quite worrying. But the technical team and the management had a joint meeting, but with the board, and then we tasked them to get the results the way we have planned right from the get-go. Of course, we are a very good coach. And our players to us are very, very good. I think in Ghana now, Ghana players I believe they are on top. So we just gathered ourselves together, and then
the rest is history.
Yeah, right.
And
can you talk to us about the appointment of Ibrahim Tanko? I mean, he was at Accra Lions. They were relegated, and then he came to Mediema. What went into the appointment of Ibrahim Tanko?
We know Ibrahim Tanko as a very experienced coach. He has played football before. He's played the national team, and he's a very focused and disciplinarian, let me say. So we thought we needed that. We needed someone who would be focused on our goals. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to be. So you need someone who will not be so spread in terms of what he sees, but rather get someone who will be focused on getting us to the apex of the league, and then also taking us to Africa. And so we had a series of meetings with him. He accepted to join us, and he has delivered himself, so to speak. Yeah.
Now, I mean, I have been to Takwa several times, and Mediema is one club where you have the management working together as if it's like a family thing. I know the job that Moses Amapaka, the president of the club, is doing. But Doc, we are playing a World Cup where Mediema won the league, but we don't have a single mediama player in there. A lot of questions came up because Ghanaians felt that Salim Adams had done enough to earn a place in the Black Stars.
Well, I think in the whole squad, there's only one locally based Ghanaian there. So you might as well say that why didn't we have enough or a couple more of our local players? I think Salim Adams had also, made such a strong showing in a local league. And even when when they went to Mexico, his presence in a short period demonstrated his readiness to be part of it. But of course, in these games, it's very difficult for coaches and technical people to select.
Some even say the short period also played a part. The coach wanted to go with people players who have been there before.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it was just normal that we would not take everybody. But I think going forward, and that has been my position, we need to build a very strong local national team. I chaired the Black Galaxies.
Yeah.
And my idea was to have a very strong Black Galaxies based on our local players. Of course, the Galaxies are largely local players. And so they should be ready all the time to represent Ghana, even at international level.
Okay.
So when I was working with the coach
Didi Dramani,
we called about 80 players, very good players. He was going to reduce that eventually to, I think, 36 or so. And they will be there every other month, or they will come for some training and go back and be so formidable, so that in the event of any national assignment where we were having problems, there were times when the international players had difficulty joining, where we had that, we could just use them and they should be ready enough. Yeah. And of course, sometimes because they also want to make their names and move away from being local players, they tend to be not overly, but very committed, because they also want to announce themselves to be seen by big clubs. So that was the idea. But I'm sure I don't know. I haven't been following the Chan team yet, but I'm sure that is the way they're going.
Doc, we'll talk a lot about the Black Stars, but let's start from the start. I have witnessed about this would be my sixth World Cup that the fifth World Cup that the Black Stars are participating in, and I've seen all this World Cup. But 2006 would always remain a special period in my mind, because when Ghana qualified, it was as if it was a national call. Everyone got on board, not just the people, corporate bodies. And that was the time we saw Goldfields coming on board hugely. You were very instrumental in that World Cup in Ghana. Was it Yao Safuma who was minister then? 2006 under President John Ajekun Kufuor. Doc, that World Cup felt unique because of how everyone came on board. How did you pull all those moves to get that support for the Black Stars?
Yeah. Well, thanks. I mean, sometimes I feel that people have forgotten this also. Getting to this World Cup, there was no discussions about the journey that we have traveled. Everybody thought we just qualified.
No.
Ghana had tried many times. In days when we had very solid players, Abedi Pele, Tony Yeboah, Sami Kufo, and all those big names, even at that time, we couldn't qualify. So it was quite surprising that, and pleasantly so, that at a time when Ghana didn't have the stars, we had brilliant footballers, those who were playing.
So Rapia described it as good players, but not stars.
Exactly, they were not stars. In fact, even when we're going to Germany, I think the only name that could be associated with a star maybe Michael Essien.
He was playing for Chelsea.
Exactly. He was playing and doing well. He had just moved from France. What is it? Marseille. Lyon. And then joined Chelsea. And he just had the first place in Chelsea. So he was a star. And Chelsea was doing well at that time. So, but beyond that, there are some Wajans, John Mensah.
They were quite unknown.
They were good players playing in their own teams, and but they were not very known in a way. So they came together as a squad that were hungry initially, and so they played their hearts off, and the qualification to was the sort of self belief that they had. I remember before Goldfields went in, and again, I always say that Goldfields sponsorship was not because the GFA at that time had gone to apply for support. No.
Oh, okay. So they
No,
didn't
no,
come to Goldfields and say,
No,
yeah,
no,
some of
no,
us sponsor
no,
Air
no,
Black Star.
no. It was Goldfield itself that offered. And so when we offered, because I and this the man called Mr. Ezan, Ezan was a senior member also of Goldfield. We needed to do something as a company, something for the country in terms of making our impact felt, making our names known. At the local level, we thought we were doing quite well. At the local level, we had built hospital, maternity facility, we've done a few things. So we thought that at that time, and I'm saying we, at that time when I was there, and so we thought, what can we do for our name to also be known? And there was also a conflict between Ashanti Goldfields and Goldfields. Everybody thought it was Ashanti Goldfields and all that. So we told the FA, we had meetings with them. There were some delays in acceptance, which was quite interesting. Because at that time, the intention of FA was that we should give the sponsorship directly to them so they would manage it themselves. And Goldfields also thought, no, we'll keep the monies. So, we would have a defined distribution of the resource. So when you need it for this, come and take it. We are ready at any time once you've signed. But initially, FA's intention was that we are handling this, the national team. Why are you not giving us the money? And there was back and forth. And until at a point when my boss at that time, the MD, Brendan Walker, may he so rest in peace, called me and said, look, I have only 12 days to handle this. If by the 12th of I think April or something like that, there was a date, we hadn't agreed, we hadn't signed, then there will be no deal on the table. How are you allowing this $3 million which we hadn't seen before?
Yeah, because it was huge money. We had never heard of $3 million for the national team before.
So then I went and told the minister at that time, Mr. Safumafu, who was the minister. I said, Mr. Minister, my people want to take the money away. If the FA. He said, what? I think it was him and then Dr. Amwa. Dr. Kofi Amwa.
Citizen Kofi.
Citizen Kofi. I think it was, at that time, you have the GFA chairman and there's a president or something. I mean, he was also associated with football and such. So I spoke to him. He said, what are we doing? I mean, he was like surprised. And then I went to the minister, Osafo Mafu, who said, Tony, organize a press conference tomorrow. He didn't say we will sit down and organize a press conference tomorrow. We are going to accept it. We hadn't finished the negotiations. So
but you made mention of the fact that the GFA didn't even come to you. Exactly. But there's this misconception among Ghanaians that it was government that actually wanted to use some form of backdoor. So government rather gave Goldfields the money to use it as sponsorship.
That is incorrect. I handled this thing. I know how the money. I mean, who would be joking like that? Truth is this: it's a mining company. How would government give money to a mining company? Government itself want money from mining companies. So why would they give money to a mining company to be given to a national team? That is not correct. Absolutely wrong. So Osafumafu came and said, we are going to accept it. So organize a conference tomorrow. So I think it was on the 25th of April. I mean, it's around 25th of April, the records will be there. And Ghana was preparing to go to Congo for a qualification match. So
we drew that game in Congo.
Exactly. So we announced that we signed, but it wasn't the normal. We signed a paper say that government has accepted the sponsorship, from blah blah blah, before even completing the negotiation. Otherwise the money would have gone, because somebody comes with something and negotiation takes a lot of time. Your principals elsewhere are also thinking of a time period for them to move on. So that one, the minister did very well. He came in, stopped it, and then the rest is history. I mean, if you remember, at that time, I think after the signing, was it Hamza Mohammed came to me and said, Chief, are you sure it is correct? Are you sure this one will be? Yeah, I mean, so the players didn't believe that.
Because dog, $3 million, so $3 million, 2006.
So they went to Congo and beat Congo 1-0 in
Kinshasa.
In Kinshasa. And then when they came, I think our second match was it Uganda or Burkina Faso? One of them, Uganda, and it trained.
It was Burkina Faso at Babayara.
Babayara.
We won 2-1.
Yes,
Burkina scored first.
Yeah, exactly.
Matthew and Tutes Frimpong had to score.
So Burkina scored the first goal. The pitch was so soggy. They went in and came with a brand new set of jerseys. Yeah. It had never happened before.
Yeah. There was money now.
Exactly. So
I think it was Umbro. Then it was Umbro.
It was Umbro.
The white and black.
You have the history.
No, I was a small boy in Kumasi, so I was always at the stadium.
Yes. So you know, they came back, and they were in the same Umbro, same jersey and all
white.
that. White, new.
And our bullets were wet.
And yes, they were wet. So they came.
Let me see that.
Yes, equalized, equalized, and then after they equalized on the second one, we won. And then when we won, they went back to the dressing room. Everybody has envelope.
Wow.
Yeah, the envelope for
winning bonus. Just there and there.
Yes. Yeah. And I think I sit back and say that this issue of carrying money, because they didn't believe in there were histories, not one history behind the national team, and there are some, I'm sure you would have heard about people traveling, and when they come, they find it difficult to get their ticket.
But Doc, was this known to the public, sir? Sika? Because I don't know why. Back then, I mean, I watched an interview from President Kufuor where he talked about the fact that, 2006, so my Black Stars, winning bonus or something, yeah. But it looks like nobody was angry about the monies that the Black Stars were receiving. So why is it different now?
But you see, the Black Stars were now winning. And actually, getting the heart of most Ghanaians.
Because with 3 million more than more, and the Chromo appeal for fans. If someone pays, people are angry that why would you go and pay? Why would the company? But nobody got angry.
At that time, there were a little bit of concerns. When we were ready to go to the Black Stars sponsorship, I told my boss that, look, let us not announce the sponsorship until we have done something at Takwa.
Okay.
So I went to Takwa to talk to them, to offer there was not a premier, the first division club there, Takwa United.
Yeah.
Takwa United. $50,000
okay.
sponsorship. Just to also announce that we are not only looking at the national team. We
okay.
knew the backlash that could have happened.
That was a smart move.
Yeah, so we did that. And so along this, at the same time when we're sponsoring the Black Stars, we're also sponsoring Takwa United, So I think it was a good opportunity for Ghana. And still, we were not sure about our players, the quality of our players. Though you remember, we performed so badly
at the AFCON. Yeah.
AFCON, we had Zimbabwe
kicking us out after losing to Nigeria and beating
Senegal. And we were like,
it wouldn't go well. AFCON. Now what can be?
Yes.
We all said it.
Yes.
AFCON.
Yes. And I remember at that time, the negative predictions from our Ghanaian people, journalists,
the media.
The media was like, Ghana, you better show more 3-5. You better show more 3-0, 5-0. This and it's not like Ghana be renewed. And just in spite of the challenges we have in our qualification, we still have some belief in the Black.
And I even remember some of the headlines in newspapers that Ghana has a plethora of problems. You need schools and trees and money GMPs, and they are called Black Star and all that.
But you see, sponsoring a club or sponsoring sports is also part of our national development.
Okay.
I mean, our national psyche. You go to some countries, they have, in fact, in Dubai, they have a minister for happiness.
Really?
Yes, minister for happiness. Because you see, when you're and globally, they gauge the state of happiness of most countries.
Okay.
You see, and if your country is not happy, it affects everything. stress and health and all those things, and your pride, your reputation.
I
as
think
a
the
nation.
last one I saw, the country that was on top was Iceland. They said they are the
They are
most
very happy.
happiest people because they don't have a
They
any
don't,
problem.
they don't think, so they are, and you can
The
see,
number is small.
you
They
can
have
check,
amenities. They have
you can
everything.
check their productivity also when they are happy. So it's important that you have all these
Okay.
sponsorship and all that.
I just want to know. I mean, you have worked in the private sector. You've worked with government as well. People usually want to know if companies are sponsoring the Black Stars. What are the returns that they get? Can you tell us a bit about that? I mean, having your brand name, attached to the Black Stars, they traveling around the world, winning, playing at World Cups, at AFCONs. What does it bring to the company that sponsors the Black Stars?
Well, I think for those who sell things, the returns would be direct. For instance, I don't know if I'm I'm allowed to say this. There's a Ghanaian company which advertises at a very high level. Oh, boy, I say.
Yeah.
And I said, well, these
Free
guys are
advert,
doing
free
very,
advert for them.
they're doing very well. I mean, they advertise on I think Super Sport,
Yeah.
and I'm
We
sure
watch the World Cup and during the ads we see
and
people
they're
like,
very-
hey,
and
now
I'm
Ghana
excited.
company.
It is very exciting to see a Ghanaian product being advertised internationally. So I'm sure they will measure their benefit from the state of sale. So there's a MTN when they do the sponsorship and they are mentioned. I mean, I'm sure it affects their sales and all that. So for those who are selling something, it gives you a direct benefit. If people know your product and they want to, those who haven't heard it before, when they hear, oh, this thing is being advertised on TV or on your blog, so it might be a good one. Now, for those, I mean, if you would rather ask Goldfields why it's sponsored, because Goldfields was not selling anything. What it was selling was reputation, and then also making themselves known. I mean, at that time, Goldfields was very much respected. Mining is an activity, or extractive generally. They are an activity where people think it's dirty, it's bad, it destroys the environment, it does this.
So even acceptance from the people.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So even though these things, you can't do away with them. You can't do away with mining.
Yeah.
I mean, the things, in the world, anything that is not grown is mined.
Okay.
You can check anything in the room, see whether there's no product of mining. Sand winning is mining and all that. So mining has got to live with us, but it is how you do it, So and so that negativity, you need to always try and balance it. So I think part of the way of balancing it is this sponsorship, which also say, okay, you've got money, we need money, you've supported us. And then for Goldfield, there were some other reasons which probably I'm not allowed to discuss. I don't have their permission to discuss. But generally, it was about their reputation, making the people accept it.
All right. Doc, let me bring you back to the Black Galaxies. I mean, you served as management committee chairman for the Black Galaxies. And even before the World Cup squad was announced, there were these conversations that were going on, and people were advocating for us to have a quota system for the Black Stars itself. Do you subscribe to that we should have a quota system where after maybe if they qualify for a World Cup or even an AFCON, we have maybe 5 or 3 or any number of players from the local league making the Black Stars through that quota system?
I would be worried about quota per se. So, which means that if we don't have any local player, that is of a certain level, because of quota, we need to, then they would have also taken the space. But I strongly support the Galaxy, and I'm always very proud that I gave the name the Black Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Which for me, because people were calling it Black Stars
B.
I thought it was condescending.
Yeah.
Local Black Stars.
Yeah, local Black Stars.
Local Black Stars.
That became a very popular
name. The proper Black Stars are the top. And I said, no. If you are Black Stars and Black Queens, Black this, Black that, why don't we have a Black Galaxy? And fortunately, ESCO accepted that and adopted it. Now, I mean, I would strongly advocate for inclusion of local players. In the Qatar, event, the World Cup, the event in Qatar, we had 2 players. What is the guy's name? two player, one goalkeeper,
Yeah,
and
the
then
quarter goalkeeper.
and then they
Banier, it was Banier and Danlad. Yeah.
Banier and
brother.
Danlad. You know, they were in my team, and I think they were both very good. Now they also jumped there. Particularly Banier went out, so he's no longer local
player,
based player. So whilst I support that, it must be a local player who is very good. And at that time, Banier was very good, and Danlad was also very good at that time. So it was okay. It was okay. This year, if they have taken Asare, and then
there's Agbesi too, but he's on standby.
Who?
Solomon Agbesi.
Aha. Okay, but standby now. Now that the names are gone, I don't know whether there could be.
And now that Tizigi is injured, he might just be the one to
That's
why he was taking a standby.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know the extent of the Atizigi's.
I think we'll have confirmation on this soon because they said they will assess the extent of the injury, but it looks like it's a groin injury. Sometimes it keeps you out for 6-7 weeks and all that. Okay. But Doc, you have seen football even before some of us started watching football and we qualified for our first World Cup. You saw the failed attempts to qualify for the World Cup. You saw the AFCON. Now we did 2006. We did 2010. We did 2014. 2018, we couldn't qualify. 2022, we were back. You saw all these periods. You were involved in, there are so many capacities that you were involved in, either being an administrator, working with the FA and all that. Which one do you think we really, really proved ourselves?
Well, it's obvious. Ghanaians, for me, the 2006, you know, it was our maiden entry. It was really our initiation into the actual World Cup tournament. And we were faced with top level countries, countries that were ranked second. Czech Republic was number 2. And then America at that time was number 5.
Yeah, and there was Italy as well.
And then Italy. So we were put in the same basket. And look at our performance. But for the mishap with Italy, which I know people were very determined. I remember Oseko for being so determined because most of the players he was going to play against were players he had played with in Italy. And he had he had told one of them that Tony, that he was going to beat them. They should see a surprise. And then, we saw what happened. And unfortunately, but subsequent to that, we did well. So that one, and it was followed up immediately by a splendid performance in
Czech Republic.
In
South Africa.
South Africa 2010.
Yeah. Which again, but for the unfortunate
Suarez. That story.
The first country
in Africa to reach the quarterfinals.
And if you had gone to the quarterfinals, I am sure something.
If I always tell people that, Charlie, 2006 is my best World Cup, they don't understand because we had failed woefully at the AFCON. 2010, we had gotten to the finals of the AFCON against Egypt, so I had high hopes that we'll do well. But 2006, it was a terrible AFCON. We won just one game, but Charlie. Doc, let's switch to 2026. Tough year for Ghana, especially with the not being able to qualify for the AFCON. It looks like spirit was down for some time now. Let's be honest with ourselves. It looks like the spirit, the kind of applause, the kind of enthusiasm we have in supporting the Black Stars has gone down. We failed to qualify for the AFCON. We maintained Otuado. We managed to qualify for the World Cup. It was a difficult period. We played some friendly games. I saw you in Germany, Austria for the friendly games. Then we had to change a manager just a few months to the World Cup.
Actually, just 2 months.
2 months. We played just one friendly game. We go into the tournament. First game against Panama. Our hearts were actually in our mouth. Doc, the performance of the Black Stars. Yes, everyone is happy. People are saying it's a tournament. Who we near? Forget the performance. But as an experienced football manager, what do you make of what you saw against Panama?
I think, I saw on a Twitter, is it a TikTok, a certain old lady who was watching, but he had covered his TV with a cloth. And he go and open small and then cover it.
Yeah.
When the ball was going to the Blasters, you cover it. That was, I think, the roller coaster that people had in their hearts. All of us. I mean, I was confident. I worked with a few people, and they were like, and I said, "Oh, take your time. We will bring a surprise." Meanwhile, I had predicted on a different, in fact, two stations that we're going to win by 2-0, and that Panama will not score a goal.
Okay.
But we will score 2 goals. Of course, I won the Panama side. We scored one, so so it's 3-2, 3-2. I got 2, and it was a difficult start for us. I mean, we didn't look organized. We couldn't string passes together. No wonder the statistics indicated 68. And
yeah, they played better than us.
Yeah, much better.
possession.
But I had always thought that if we had the chance, we would score. If we had the,
we just needed one big opportunity.
Yes, we needed an opportunity, and we would score. That was what I was going with, and I was praying that Panama shouldn't score. I think they were also very wasteful.
Yeah.
Happily very wasteful. I mean, because they were wasteful, it also gave us confidence. I'm sure that the second half brought in a fresh spirit.
Okay.
I'm sure the coach would have spoken to them and then told them what to do.
Yeah.
And then later on, bringing in fresh pair of legs also helped. But it was our hearts were in our mouths, as you said, and we sat.
You also watched the game.
Yeah, of course.
We sat on the tentacles for a long time.
I want to take your honest opinion on especially that first 45 minutes.
I think it was a very. I don't say terrible, but I think it was a bad first half. I don't think any Ghanaian that has watched the Black Stars at the World Cup, rating our matches even in the past, would rate this one as one of our best moments. It wasn't really good enough, and just like Doc said, it was a very disjointed first half. The players looked like, and you can understand, they had not played friendly matches enough. They had played just one, and so under this coach and the system that he wants to play, of course, we are still getting, even us as fans or journalists, we are still getting used to what he wants to do, his system and all that. So the players have played just one friendly. So you don't expect that they'll come into this game and then have the telepathy, have the understanding. And look at our back four. It is the first competitive game that they are playing together. The entire back four. The first competitive. And that's, I mean, if you are a team that wants to play at the World Cup and win games, you need a team that has played consistently for a while. And we didn't have that. So I wasn't really surprised much, but I still expected better from them because we are playing.
The win may maybe boost their
confidence.
They would have the confidence that, look, now Ghanaians are behind them because they were also afraid.
Yeah.
I remember I read a statement from Emmanuel that as for Ghana, once you're on the pitch, they expect everything from you.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Very true.
I mean, we do that. And so now that they've played, and you could see after they win how they were relaxed and all those. So I think that will push them.
Doc, there are a lot of talking points from that Panama-Ghana game. One is Jordan Ayew. You have known Jordan Ayew when he was little playing for under 20. You even watch his father, so you know the Ayew generation. How do we deal with the Jordan Ayew situation at the moment? If you are Carlos Queiroz, as an experienced football manager, how would you manage Jordan Ayew? Because there are those who feel that he should be starting games from the bench. There are those who feel he's experienced. That is why the manager wants to keep him on, and he's the captain of the side.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the manager tells him because when you are going to the pitch, sometimes a manager can tell you, don't cross this line.
Yeah.
Be there. I remember I listened to an interview on Mutala. I hear Mutala, even though he was an attacking player, also liked to come back.
Yeah.
And then he came back and committed a penalty. He just took a player on and committed a penalty. And his coach went, almost slapped him and said, look, don't cross this line. Don't cross this line. And that was his limit. So I don't know what the coach tells Ayew. He's an experienced player. I mean, one-on-one cases, when you get closer to the box, he can score. He knows how to score. And then he also has a set piece skills.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's been put there for all these things. But he could, I compare him a bit, and they are different to Dede Ayew. The day plays with all the force and he's running everywhere. He's doing everything. Jordan, he waits for some moment and sometimes it's very frustrating for those of us who are watching. So I don't know what role the coach gives him. That stay here, make sure that this thing can work. But yes, I mean, playing Panama, he could have done a bit better
Mhm.
than that, because sometimes the ball will be taken from him and he'll be
Mutala,
walking.
Mutala, what do you
Yeah.
think is Jordan's best position in this Black Stars team? Do
I
you
think
think he should play through the middle or on the
I
wings?
think he's more effective when he's playing as a number 10 with his back to goal. Because the kind of system Carlos Queiroz plays, you would always want to play on the back foot. Ghana would always be defending
Yep.
against teams.
Yeah.
So sometimes when in the heat of the moment, you need a player who can handle the ball, calm things down. And nobody in that team does it better than Jordan, especially when he has his back to go.
Yeah.
Because taking the ball off Jordan is very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
And there's
That's
a
true.
reason why most managers who have been at Crystal Palace and his club side have preferred Jordan. If you're a manager who is not an attacking mind, Pep Guardiola will not use Jordan for anything. He wouldn't like Jordan. But if you're Roy Hodgson, any other manager that plays a bit defensive, Jordan is key. But Doc, there's also Thomas Partey issue. The Thomas Partey issue is very dicey.
Very, very.
There are those who say that he's not even in the right frame of mind. And I am able to say we don't change a winning team. Now, Obo Elisha Calibrinchi, you've won the game. You have quote unquote your best midfielder who didn't play in your first game because he had an issue with authorities, Canadian visa authorities. Now you are playing England, a country that he has played in. He will come up against players that border. He knows them very well. But the PR coming from England, the stories coming from the media, it looks like they want to get into his head. How do you manage the party situation going into that game against England?
Yeah, first of all, you take it from the player himself.
Mm-hmm.
Some players will be so, determined to prove a point against his adversaries, so to speak.
Yeah.
That he said, "Coach, please play me." There are some players who go, "Coach, I'll do this penalty." I mean, even if I'm not known to be doing that, but sometimes something goes into you and you think you can do it, and you do it. And so it depends. If he feels overwhelmed by the pressure from all those things, then a game like this, if Asamoah was around,
this is games.
This is a game.
Yeah.
You just talk against him, insult him, that's where you prove it wrong.
So Partey has a point to prove.
If Partey feels that he wants to prove a point, they should put him in.
But
I don't know whether they should start him. I don't know whether they should start him. Maybe he could come in to cause commotion for the English team.
Yeah, but you have been with the team for a while, right? Looking at Partey, looking at his temperament and his attitude and everything, do you think he has it in him to go into this game and think that he wants to take revenge?
Yes, Partey is a very calm guy. He doesn't come out as someone who can soak that type of pressure. Okay. I mean, you need the Ayew. I mean, of course, the Ayew is not there. And the Samoan type.
Maybe Muntari.
Yes, and Muntari. Those people, you can do whatever you want to do, say whatever. When they are on the pitch, they close their ears and they focus on the game. If Partey looks too calm, too overwhelmed by some of these things than those players I've already mentioned. So it depends. The technical people at the scene will now find out, and then of course I'm sure the FA managers are also there. They can find out from him if he is really challenged enough, and if he can ignore what is coming out from all
the
those
media
things.
pressure and all that.
If he could ignore those things, he can prove a point. Go there and say, "Look, I'll show you Pepe. I'll show you Pepe. Now you are doing this to me on the pitch. Come and see me there." But if we think he cannot because he feels overwhelmed, we shouldn't push him. Okay. I think Caleb has proven himself as a worthy substitute. Let him come, and then maybe when we are playing Croatia, maybe we can bring Partey.
They have a very aged midfield.
Yes, if we think we still need him, because if when we went to 2006 and even 2010, there were some players who were thought to be the ones who be playing. And then they got there. They played once and they were
the young guys playing now.
So
Doc, we watched the England-Croatia game. England won 4-2. Ghana's second game is against England. What do we need to change about our team to be able to at least get something from that game against England? Because a lot of people are scared.
Yeah. In fact, I would think that the players must, I think, again, psyching yourself. that you are going to play England. This is where I want to make.
It's the first thing they need to do.
Yes, first thing is to psych yourself. This is where I need my name. It is not those days where you go and you are looking at Ronaldo's. Hey, this Ronaldo that I've been watching, I'm now playing with. No, you go and say this man, I won't let him get the ball.
But dogs, how did they be with hostel? Where you see certain players and you feel, hey, wait, on I'm in the boy.
That was the rumor I heard when we played Portugal.
In
2022.
Yes, that was the
And
rumor I
2014.
heard. I heard that even the goalkeeper said, I even caught Ronaldo's shot or so. But so they may not be, they may be just jokes and all that. But the thing is, just go with the psychology that, look, Ubia. Look, this game that we are going to play, you are England, but Hurricane, I won't let you go out. I will be your husband for the day. I will torment you. So once you have that in your mind, I mean, a player like this guy who Lamptey, is it? No, the one who used to play for Crystal Palace. He's not on the squad.
Isn't Ketia?
No,
Jeffrey Slop.
No, not Slop. But they used to play in the same team. Is it Lamptey or
Tariq was at Brighton.
Not Tariq. There's another guy who used to play in Crystal Palace when they won the league.
Oh, okay. That is a long time ago. Oh, you're talking about Leicester City.
Yeah, I said Leicester City.
Amate.
Amate.
Yeah.
Amate would be a player who would be no nonsense in that situation. Okay. I'm not saying he's a very good or bad player, but you could see that the kind of play that you would not care. You would just play his game. And so I think the first thing is psyching. And then also, we shouldn't be too cagey, I'm sure, on the field. We should also want to score.
Yeah.
We should also want to score, because if we're able to score a goal, before the end of the first half,
the pressure will be on them.
If they would come back, they can only score a goal, and then I am predicting a draw for ourselves.
Doc, I didn't see Abedi Pele play. I didn't see Tony Eboa play. The furthest I can remember that I really watched the Black Stars was from 2004 when they started the World Cup qualifiers, because I was a young boy in Kumasi. So I saw Sule Muntari, Sami Eje, and all these players play. Over the years, up until now, you have seen different generations of Black Star players. Have we dropped in quality as a nation in terms of our football? Is it something that cuts across, not just the Black Star? Have we dropped in quality?
I would say that football has developed. Football has grown.
Okay.
You wouldn't have brought Comoros Island in front of Ghana.
Yeah.
And at that time, Ghana was superior. And at that time, Midiama couldn't have even beaten Kotoko.
Yeah.
So football has changed. Football has developed. If you slow down, you'll be left behind. Now we are using players that haven't played together. You're using players that haven't played together before. Like you said, the first 4 players at the back players. This was the first time we were playing together in a competitive match. So I think that is also a problem. Individually, they may be very good when they are playing their leagues and all that. But if you don't put them together, but in those days, in the Abedi Pele's days, Abedi Pele was playing, well, later on he went out, and he's a player that we must always be very proud of, because he always played with his heart.
Okay.
With his heart, not only the pair of feet that he had. He played with his heart. Abedi Pele will go and run for the ball. When even his throw, he will run and get the ball for somebody. You could see he had Ghana at heart. His son, they also seemed to have had that sort of thinking and so on. And you had all those players who played in Ghana. They were playing in RTU and all that. You have players who are playing outside. So I think putting them together is a problem. There was a time when, I think in the days of Zopokwa Free or those people, when they were going to play the AFCON, they were bundled to Brazil. They went to Brazil for, is it 2 months or 3 months?
To be together.
Yes.
To bond.
To prepare. And so when they came to play, if you saw a player step on the ball, you know where he was going to be. So that made a team. I always say football is not like tennis, where you just hit and this one to hit. You can't plan with
individual sports.
No, it's an individual sport, but football is a team sport. So you need them together. So you may have the Galaxies, you may have the stars in there, but putting them together to jive is
It
always
be
a
mostly
problem.
football now is scientific. It's not
Yes.
no longer our talent.
Yes,
Who know
yes,
about
yes.
street football? he knows
So
how
it
to
would
play.
have been to our advantage because generally we are skillful.
We are,
Generally,
so
have the
generally we
talent.
are talented.
We are talented.
Ghanaians are talented.
Yes, generally, I think we are talented. But it's not only the talent that goes. That's where in those days somebody will be dribbling a polo and they'll be dribbling or say Kofi will get the ball and you run but at those days our talents were showing, our natural skills. But these days it's technical. I mean, I have been so angry about starting the game from the back. You know,
in the Pep Guardiola system.
Yes, in those days,
we just kicking it.
When you have a kick, boom, it goes in. And I asked coaches, top coaches, I said, why do you play football like that? I said, no.
It has
you
changed.
have to work from the back. And then even when your opponents are standing right in front of you, you're passing the ball at the back. And people make mistakes.
So it has evolved.
Okay. So I think it is the evolution and the new style which has changed. The players there.
Okay, so we'll be wrapping up shortly. But Doc, before we go, Tuesday against England, in my mind, I have my predicted 11. Would you change anybody in that team that played against Panama? That 11 that started?
I think that I could start with the same team. I mean, but for the goalkeeper. So Asare would be there.
Yeah.
I think because I'm not seeing any other superior substitute at this stage.
Okay.
So I'll play them, but I'm sure some of them could be changed as quickly as possible. Maybe the 15 minutes after the second half.
But would you start party?
No.
With all that has happened.
No. I'd rather. Well, again, Caleb did very well in the game.
Elisha even did well.
So the two midfielders did very well. So you don't change those who did very well, and they are the momentum is there now.
Okay.
So you may want to start them. You keep Partey and to surprise them when he comes in. To surprise them when he comes in, and of course we need to also understand the psyche of Partey, because he himself can say that. This game, let it pass.
So you predicted 2-0 against Panama. This one, what's your prediction?
This one, I want to predict a draw. You see, I cannot say that England will beat us. And I think our players will not allow England to beat us. England will be a major challenge for them.
Okay.
And so it's always the challenge that you have and the national flag that is in front of you. If you look at the two, you would see that they all go in our favor. Our flag is more formidable. Our national anthem, it's not like we are singing for the Queen.
You are talking against the colonial masters.
No, but they are no longer masters. They are no longer masters. You see, we are not singing for the King or the Queen. We are singing for God. Now. We are.
Well, for me, I would still maintain the same lineup. Just that I will bring out Elisha, put Partey in because he has experience. Kamaldeen, I will not play him as a 10 again. Kamaldeen, for me, is not the number 10. I would bring Kamaldeen out, put Jordan as the number 10, bring Thomas Asante as the arrowhead, the main number 9, Semenyo, and I would also change Ernest Nuama and bring in Fatari.
I was surprised why Ernest Nuama didn't perform as much as
against the Wolves.
But you know that in the past games, right? Any game that Nuama starts, he doesn't do too well. Then Isaku comes in and bails him out. And then when Isaku starts, Nuama comes in.
It reminds me of Rashford Martial situation sometime back. Anyone who comes from the bench has more impact than the one that started. Ayamga, would you make any substitutions?
I will take Kamaldeen out. I'll probably put in Christopher Babunsu because of what he did when he came on. I think he obviously has more speed, more directness, and I think he's more decisive in the final third. So I'll bring him there.
Okay. Now, Doc,
for Partey, I think I'll keep him on.
We are ending, but there's an interesting subject that I would want to take your thoughts on because you're a very experienced football administrator. Cristiano Ronaldo, he is 41 years. Now, he has divided opinion in Portugal. Some are saying that, top ex-footballers like Henry, Ibrahimovic are saying he's drawing the team back. So he should accept that he's no longer the player he was and say, okay, I'll start from the bench. But the Ronaldo we know always wants to play. When he's fit, he believes he's the best player in the world. what should be the ideal situation for Portugal and Ronaldo? Because they are saying he's the reason why they didn't even win against
DR
DR
Congo.
Congo.
But I mean, but why are they keeping him on?
Because he's a superstar. He's Ronaldo.
Well, but anyway, let's say that was the first game.
Mm.
So things didn't go well for him.
Mm.
I'm sure it may also be a challenge for him as well.
Mm.
I'm sure in the next game, if he starts and doesn't do well, they won't wait. They won't wait till the end of
the third game.
The third game. I mean, he can rant and rave. He's my man, but he can rant and rave when he's being changed. But he must be changed if he's not.
But do you think
the coach has it in him to do that? Roberto Martin, does he have the balls
to say Ronaldo?
But Ronaldo has been changed before.
Yeah,
he didn't
end well for the coaches who did that. Hag and then Fernando Santos.
Yeah. But I mean, if you don't and you lose and you don't qualify, it will not help you also.
Yeah,
because they might sack you like they did.
But Doc, who did this or no? Because I say I am 41.
And no longer. I said people voluntarily retire. When people are retiring, they come and say, "Look, I'm tired." Recently, I saw a Nigerian player who said, "No,
he was their captain."
Yeah. So when you feel that you are not, you still play. When you go to the Arab world, you can play and make your money and all that. But at national team level, there are many players from different countries. Playing in different countries, but from your country. So just allow or come from the bench as the one who comes to cause a surprise, like all those old players used to do. I mean, the Cameroonian player, Roger Milla won't start.
Even 2010, Stephen Appiah accepted.
Stephen Appiah accepted. You came in when, and at that time, but for the injuries, there was still football in Stephen Appiah, but because of the injuries. So he has to accept. I'm sure he's making this his final tournament, and so he want to make a point. I think they should include him to start if he misbehaves in coach. In coach, if he doesn't do well, then you take him out.
Very dicey situation for Portugal, but it's on Tuesday. Ghana will be taking on England, and you've heard from Doc, who is a very experienced football administrator. Doc, it has to sell by first episode. And to have you, it's a privilege to sit with you. I always tell you that anytime I sit with you to talk, I mean, it's a privilege. I learn a lot from you. And we're hoping that we'll be seeing you often here to come and share your knowledge with us and also our viewers as well.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully after we beat England, just like he predicted.
I predicted
a draw.
The West
will be a draw.
Will be a draw.
What's your prediction for that?
We can do a one. You can do a one.
You know what? We have a seasoned administrator here. I'll go with him.
A draw. Okay, I'm also
but I don't play. I'm not playing.
But I'm also going with a draw in this game. That is the best. Before they know the game has ended.
Exactly. Just look at the time. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Be very compact.
Before you know, England Hurricane Benjamin Asare keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah.
See you in the next episode. This has been the VAR podcast from the Buzzcast Studio. My name is Mutala Yakubu. I did this with Emmanuel Ayamga. Dr. Tony Obin was our guest. See you in the next episode.
Bye.